Andreas, welcome. Good to have you
Thank you.
here.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Nice to be here.
Yeah, so we're gonna get to know you more today, and you have a very unique perspective because you are from the Alpha Quadra, and the Alpha Quadra is new to this channel. Yeah. So we're gonna get a glimpse into your universe. But before we get started, I'd like to um yeah, ask you, who are you first of all? You're from Denmark, right?
Yes, Denmark, Copenhagen, more precise, or specifically. Yeah, live here all my life, more or less. Well, I, who am I? I want to say the best just because of number one, right?
Of course.
But no, I guess I'm trying to be a writer, become a writer, write books, and also do music, rap music, mostly. But I'm open to like produce music for other people as well, where it doesn't have to be me who is the main artist and being on the front page and everything. Just anything music, but I also want to do rap music.
Mm.
And then in OPS, I am one of the few people I think who's been here the longest. Not the longest, but one of the few people who actually came in like very, very early on. And
Yeah.
then I just stuck because like, damn, this cold is hell of fun, you know what I mean?
So wait a
Yeah.
minute. Was it in 2017 or when was it?
I think it was like the first video they put up with OPS because they did some MBTI videos before that, like
Mm.
5 years before that or something. It was like in January, yeah, 2018. And then I like in February or something, I found the videos.
Hmm.
I wasn't in the class. Just found the YouTube video and tried to learn MBTI and didn't know I was not learning about MBTI. I was actually learning about OPS. And then I just, wrote some SR notes about this shit and slow. I don't remember when I got in the class, but when like it was pretty fast. And as soon as I could, I also got my type. I think I was typed in, I don't know, September, August,
Mm.
something like that.
In
Yeah.
2018. Wow, that's wow. It's close to 7 years, right?
Yeah, it's a long time ago. Suddenly, like a long time ago.
Yeah, I thought it was long for me, but it's not really because it was, yeah, I think right before the pandemic. So
Oh,
in 2020, I think I started 2019, 2020. And at the end of the year, like 4 years ago now in November, I got typed over the phone. Actually, it was like, yeah, talking to Dave. And
oh yeah, they did that. I remember when they did that. That's true. They did the phone typing thing. Yeah, I remember that.
yeah.
Interesting.
And then I wanted to have the double blind as well to compare if, I just wanted to have it the scientific way because, yeah, the method is kind of what draw me to OPS. So I just wanted to have it confirmed. And they both agreed on my types. So yeah.
Yeah, I kind of get that. It was one of the few things also for me. Like, yeah, it was the scientific method, but also just how you could actually predict what people would say and do, and then see them do it. And then I was kind of like, this is bullshit. And then I tried it in real life, and then I was kind of like, okay, there's something here. This is very spooky in some ways. Like you can like how people complain about certain things, and you're kind of like, I already know what you're gonna complain about, and I already know what triggers you, and I
Yeah.
don't even know what it is yet. Like they come into the door, into the room. I haven't talked about. I haven't talked to them this whole morning. I just met them, and because I know the type, I already know what they're gonna talk about. And just doing that was pretty like amazing to me. I think like how you can just predict human behavior like that.
Yeah.
Pretty scary, also but pretty fun. Also to mess around with people. I don't know. There's so many things back then that was really, really interesting to it. Still is, still is.
Yeah, it's quite fascinating. I think so too. Like, do you usually type people like, yeah, like the human needs or something like the people you have around you, maybe at work or social life or like that?
I this year specifically this year I've been trying to not type as much because I've
Mm.
been focused on a lot of other shit. But naturally, I don't know why. I do know why actually, but I have typed so much my friends and family. So because Dave and Shannon used back in the days to talk about you can use this typing method where you
Mm.
can just use your own particle reaction to someone. Like do you find them attractive, annoying, or whatever? Like I used every technique there was
Hmm.
just to cheat, just to get better at typing. To a point where like even though I didn't try to type, my body would just like type, if that makes sense. Like I
Yeah.
would I would type no matter what. So it was kind of like stuck in my head. Like I would always type people and I would always predict everything they would say inside my own mind. So I definitely do have been typing most people in my life. I try not to now, but there are times where people are doing such stereotypical things and it's so reoccurringly that it just like like they just it's like they kind of like just shove it in my face. Like I cannot not see it. You know what I mean? Like I'm
Yeah,
kind of
I know.
trying not to see it and be nice, but they're kind of like, nope, here's my type. This is what I am, and I'm kind of like, God damn it. So yeah, I know what most people in my life what kind of type they are actually.
Hmm.
Have a pretty good idea at least.
So, what are the typical like predicted behaviors? Do you have any examples? Because I want to see if I can, relate and compare a little.
TE double decided people with TE love to complain about things. Like we all love to complain about things for sure. It's not like that. But they need to like I don't know how to put this. They need to complain it. Another thing is demon SI people, they will fuck up their taxes. Like I thought when Dave talked about that was just like what they've seen with celebrities. No, normal people do that as well. Like
Mhm.
the majority of people in my life, normal life, they have fucked up their taxes. I had a friend who got like he fucked his own taxes
Mhm.
so hard, and at the same time he lost his girlfriend. Now
Oh,
losing his girlfriend was hard, but the taxes they made him go into like a psych ward. Like that was what killed him. It was not losing the girlfriend that was sad, but you know what I mean. Like it was that. Like he was just and I
yeah.
warned him. I warned him for 2 years, being like, dude, this is gonna happen to you. You have demon SI. This
Hmm.
is what happen if you don't like. Nope, nope, still happen. Yeah,
Yeah, so how did you react to that? Because, yeah, it would be the opposite for you, right? Since you're a double observer.
yeah. I usually don't fuck up my paperwork like that. Usually, I still do, but not to that degree that he did. Oh my god, holy shit. My reaction was actually pretty friendly because I don't want to be the dick who's like, I told you so. I was kind of like, yeah, that's rough, buddy. You know what I mean? Like trying
Yeah.
to just be nice and friendly because what else can you do? Like he knew there's no reason to like shove it in his face and be like,
Hmm.
you should have to listen to me. Like,
Yeah, right, right. No, no, no. Yeah, and also I was thinking more like your physical, like your animalistic reaction to it, like personally, not
oh,
in terms of judging or telling him off or anything, but just like comparing that to how you would have reacted in a similar situation.
I would been more fucked up by the girlfriend than I would about the taxes. To be honest with you, I would really like that would have hurt the taxes situation, would have been like, yeah, would be fine. But the thing about it is, I would not fuck that hard up with the taxes to that degree. Like I wouldn't, you know what I mean, shove it to that degree. Like I would definitely fuck my taxes up, and I probably will in the future, but not to that degree. Because the way he did it was a simple question of like just neglecting the SI and not looking at that at
Mm.
all for years. Like it was a simple question of that, and I'm not that neglecting of SI, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, so I think for me personally, it first off it would probably not go to that extreme, and second off, it's the girlfriend leaving me who will probably fucking most up because single decider, right? You gotta be
Mhm.
about the people.
Yeah, and I think Dave and Shan, they usually say that at the end of the day, we're all deciders because we're human, and I have experienced breakups too, and I know that, yeah, it's like killing you on the inside for sometimes for months or sometimes even for years. Like maybe decades if I'd go to the extreme, like the hardest breakup. So I think, yeah, it bothers us as well. Um, I don't know where I was going with that. I really don't know. Okay, maybe I'll get back to it. But yeah, I guess the reaction will still be somehow, I don't know, if it's harder for a single decider to understand or forgive. I don't know. I'm not sure what, like in these
Forgive,
extreme
maybe.
situations, like a breakup, for example,
Yeah, well, it
where does the
depends on the
difference?
context, I think.
Yeah.
But I will definitely probably because now I'm just here on details. No one know who he is, and he's not gonna watch it anyways.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But the girlfriend was cheating on him, and
Mm.
I think I would definitely have been feel more. What was the word we chose again?
Mm,
Not forgiving, something like that.
yeah, maybe something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, probably like that. Like my brain would try to maybe also on trying to understand something because my like the thing about where you have your unbalance, right?
Hmm.
You're single deciding and single observing. It's like you're kind of stuck in some processing ways. Like you for years are trying to resolve something. And I think for a long time I would probably, if I was in that situation, trying to like think about way too long way too long. Why did it go bad? Why did it happen? Yada yada yada. And the thing about him was he actually very fast understood why she cheated. Like it hurt. He
Mm.
was very single decider hurt for a short period. He was for sure. But very fast he understood, he accepted, he moved on. I think now I've never tried that. I've never tried a girlfriend cheat on me, at least what I know of. But I think I would probably be more stuck in a
Mm.
longer time about that than thinking about like how the fuck did I fuck my taxes that bad? If that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That makes sense. Absolutely. I'm also wondering, like, one last thing. Do you think he's OE or OI?
He's any, he's same
Any.
any.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's
Because,
demon as classic ENFP, consume, play, sleep. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, right. You said that Demon SI. Okay. Okay. I've processed that now because I'm thinking because we are both OI, you and I, but you are a decider and I'm an observer. I feel personally that I am more stuck, but maybe that's the OI thing then. And I do understand the perspective of the other person. I can even, in a way, I can even defend them or explain what they have been doing, which can be hard, for example, for my sister to understand. Why are you defending the other person? You know?
Mm.
But to me, it's just like a matter of trying to figure it out, trying to work it out, like, and accept it. And I have to see both perspectives to be able to come to a conclusion, and then I can move on.
Makes very good sense. Yeah. And I think like it's that's the annoying thing about knowing OPS since she was 18 or something like that. You
Mm,
kind of you kind of grew with it. So everywhere you are unbalanced, you kind of like worked on it already. So I actually don't know. I'm very socially aware of like um trying to see it from the other person's perspective as a practice
mm,
and become quite good at it. So it's hard for me to talk about a time well that wasn't the case. But I will say though I definitely do see myself when I do it. It just hurts more for me to do it than I feel like, and I don't know because I cannot go into other people's shoes like that. But I feel like when I watch my double decider friends,
mm,
they are not as hurt or triggered when they're doing it. They might be hurt, they might be triggered, but not as much. Like the pain level they feel are not as intense as when I do it. So what I've realized is I can do it. I have trained it, but I cannot. This is just some fake numbers. They're not real. But like I can only do it for 10 minutes or something,
mm,
and then I have to go out and actually be a single decider and be like, "Fuck this person! I hate this person." Inside my own mind or whatever, right?
mm.
Um, so I'm not that single decider. Maybe it's also because of the double activation on the DE. It might be.
Yeah,
Uh,
I want to get into that. Like, you have the double activated FE. I have so many questions to you, Andreas. And I feel we're just like blast playing here, which is great. But there are a few things I want to know, like in particular.
Yeah, go
Let's
for it.
get to those good things. We could just start with, well, why not start with your full type in case someone here doesn't know it yet. So, yeah,
Yeah,
what's your full type?
it's social type number one, flexing A, T double masculine TI sleep, blast, play, and consume last. So
Mhm.
I will not listen to any of your people who watching this bullshit. I will. I'm sorry, I won't.
It's Andrea's way.
Yes.
Okay, I got you. So, I feel like you have a very congruent type, actually. We've been
Mm,
talking about that congruency versus incongruency because you're double masculine, and that's like equivalent to a number one, you know,
mm.
and you are a number one, so that matches perfectly. Initially, they were talking about the number ones being the sleep, blast, play, consume, IP, which you are. So you're both.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's like, I don't know if there is anything in your type that doesn't really perfectly align. Like you are this
The
go
double
machine.
activation on the DE though, like being an IP INTP,
Mm-hmm.
but having that much mask. Like I'm an INTP, and I feel like INTP are mostly double feminine, right?
Yeah.
Stereotypically, and I can see myself at the end of the day, I'm still an INTP, and I'm doing all the normal INTP stuff. I'm still an INTP, but in the end of the day, I'm also very much not an INTP. So the
Mm.
double activation on the D is like I'm addicted and responsible for something I'm also trying to neglect and triggered by and fear. So it's like I'm chasing something that I'm also afraid of, and it's not in balance at all. Like that's rather not you know what I mean? It's not
Yeah, so that's the
harmony.
struggle right there. So if you want to go into that a little bit, like you do the things that an INTP would do, but
Hmm.
then at the end of the day you don't. So what does that mean, like in sensory terms? Like,
Well, I'm definitely like very nerdy, reading all the books, doing all the studies,
mm-hmm,
and I'm definitely very like stereotypically normal smart. I think I don't know what my IQ is, but I'm guessing it's either average or a little bit above average.
mm-hmm,
Um, yeah, for sure. Like space is very interesting to me. Psychology, also spiritual stuff. The NF, I guess. Um, for sure, for sure, for sure. I do these things. I do consume also a lot, but it's all something within my box. So I'm not that like if you think I'm the double activation on the SIFE makes me more ISFJ, like no, it doesn't really. It makes me like a weird mix between an ISTP, INTP, an INTJ, even an INFJ at times.
mm-hmm.
It's like I'm like five different types at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I'm doing the nerdy things, but at the same time, I'm also being very masculine, as if being very Mike Tyson like. So
Mm.
imagine if you take like Bill Gates and mix him with Mike Tyson, and then you get me, I think,
A
something like that.
powerhouse. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
wow. Yeah, well, yeah, it's a go machine, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So when do you ever stop? Like when do you hit pause? Because after all, you are a savior sleep.
A lot of the time, actually, I see myself actually being very like okay, I need to take a break now. I need to like self-reflect on that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm gonna like I feel like the blast play is definitely a thing I can be very blast play like, but the sleep and actually being an IP with the high OE, I feel like it definitely like I'm not the most blast play out there. It
Hmm.
could be way, way, way worse. I think the consume play blast is actually way worse than me.
Yeah.
Um, so like throughout the day, I actually do a lot of like just sleep blast and sleep consume. Very rarely though, and this is how I knew I am consume last. Rarely do I do play consume or consume play. I
Ooh.
do the sleep consume, yeah. Blast play, yeah. Consume sleep, yeah. But not so much, you know. the double activation on the OE thing. It's like my consume can connect to the sleep, but it cannot connect to the play. It's so super weird.
Oh, that's so interesting. I
Yeah.
have never thought of it, but because I have the same, like we are basically the same stack. I'm DE and you're DI.
Yes.
But yeah, I can relate to doing more sleep consume and not really play consume. Like that's scary. That's really scary and very like not in my comfort zone at all.
Yeah. Nah. Yeah. Same. 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 I am so jealous of my consume play friends. I'm looking over them and be like, damn, how do you do this shit? I wanna do this shit. Especially if they double deciders, man. It's just, yep, they're
Yeah.
great at it.
I remember sometime like long ago, but we were hanging like a group of people together and they were consuming like random YouTube videos and clips and blah blah blah. And I was like, why are we doing this? Like I just couldn't do the thing. I couldn't vibe with them, you know. I was probably maybe because of my FE looking like a little bit, you know, normal, but I wasn't enjoying it at all. I was just asking myself, how long is this going to go on for? Like, when are we going to do the thing, like the real thing, whatever that is, but something like meaningful? And
Yeah,
yeah, they just kept going. I think that was both play and consume, like in action strongly.
for
And yeah,
sure. I
they
call
had a
it
good time.
group like social consume because you're like socializing by you all consuming something together, right?
Yeah,
Um, yeah, that's kind of like how consume play or play consume can be. It
yeah.
can be a lot of things, but definitely it's like this weird, like that's all like consume these weird things together and not do anything about it or anything meaningful.
Yes,
No, so
exactly.
definitely.
Leading absolutely nowhere. And probably also the group of people that were there, they were a lot of force, I think, because they had no feeling of, you know, wanting to go and work or do something. It was just like, we are super chill. We can be here forever doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I'm kind of like a workaholic in some ways.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, actually. It's like it's not bad now. It's fine because when you're young, people expect of you to work a lot. But it's still not. You gotta like not always work and do the consume, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Which actually also can be work if you ask me. It depends on the context. But for sure, I'm always like definitely noticing throughout the day, like, yeah, sure, I can read a book, watch a YouTube channel, I can consume something, but
Mm,
I actually the ratio of me consuming versus producing something, like working on my music, my book or something,
mm-hmm,
like it's very like it's 90% and then 10% consuming. And the
mm,
thing I do consume is like, is it really consumed? Because honestly, it's all in my OI. So is it truly like I do consume, but it's in my OI, so it's not real consume. You know what I mean? Like it's not challenge changing, like
yeah.
necessarily. Like I do it, I definitely do it, and I can see I do it more than the usual IJs and the EJs do it. But I'm still not doing it how an EP or an IP would do it normally, for sure.
Mm,
If there is a spectrum to it, I'm not as consume last as the IJs, but and that's how I knew I was consume last because I definitely do not consume as much as the IPs and the EP does, the normal
yeah.
consumers. For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, because to them, consume is like the main thing normally if it's a standard type. Yeah, the consume last IJ becomes very consume last because of the single observer factor.
Yeah.
Sometimes, to my own defense, I think TI is a little bit slightly less, or yeah, I don't know, less consume last maybe. I don't
Sure.
know, but the TI is constantly building, you know, knowledge over time. Um,
No, I can see that for me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe actually, yeah. I don't know, but yeah, sure. It could be because yeah, TI is a little I feel like TI consume as well. And that's why I say like consume can be working because TI consume is very different from FI consume I have found. I
yeah.
feel I feel like if you watch Damon Shannon's videos about consume and especially consume last, is very, very focused on like having SE and FI
Yes,
last.
it's
Like
from
it's
the
very
gamma.
those.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
gamma perspective. So true.
exactly. And you know what? With the NETI or SETI, NEFI for that matter, I have found it to be very different. I do not know how to SI define NEFI last. It's a very weird consume last thing going on with them. I can feel it, I can see it, I understand it, I can predict it, but I do not really know at this moment how to put the words together to describe what I'm seeing there.
Hmm.
SETI, I have no clue. I have not met that many SETI people in my life or people with those kind of functions. My own consume is just um, finding new ways of understanding things, and also like because when you go explore a different field of understanding or play around with a different field of like you could understand something, you get something new
Hmm.
that you can actually use for something. So I can watch the like I might not watch a Disney movie because I'm not interested in Disney movies, but I should watch a Disney movie to get something new because it would give me some new understanding. Now, it's not like the SE was like I need some new clothing or like I need some no. I have the SI, it's fine. But it's more
Mm.
like the understanding of things. Like I have to like go search through the understanding. And that's I feel like it's more consume last with any is way more in the mind than it is in the physical, which makes sense. Is he versus any, and any is like intuition still, so still in the mind, right?
Right. Yeah. It's not the, finding a new shirt kind of deal.
Exactly, or like the facts. So you have to like update on your facts. It's like more you have to like change your worldview in that sense of like maybe try to understand them from a different angle. I think that's the problem with the demon NEFI people I have found. It's you have
Mm.
to like have a different understanding of things or go search
Yeah.
for it. Try to expand your mind, open up your mind for this silliness to like understand it in different ways.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that reminds me. I was talking with some of my managers at work, and I'm responsible for the music department, and they only have me. So I asked them, well, if I would move on from here, like, who would you hire instead? Because I can see that where this place is located, it's not very easy to find someone in this niche because you need to know both the special needs kids, like that part of the work, but also the music part. So to find the combination. And I think the people I was talking to, they are SI, but with like probably consume last, any consume last.
Mm.
And they were like, well, we aren't there yet. So that wasn't a problem. Well, for me with NI, I'm like planning 2 years ahead and I'm thinking like, okay, so who am I going to leave this legacy to in case I'm
Mm.
moving on? What are their thoughts? And so basically, what's going to happen, like what I predict, is that if I'm not there, they will kind of have problems finding anyone, and probably the students won't have access to some person to get help in terms of their music, like the hobby, their interest for that, like learning instruments or whatever, for a while. It's not like they seem to have like a resolution that will work from day one. It's like, okay, let's see, when it's a problem, then maybe we
Yeah,
have to
we will
work it
figure it
out.
out.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know if that's connected to demon, like
Um,
not changing the perspective, like just being stuck in this. Well, it's been working for years, so now why even bother
I
to
think my
think about
double
it?
observing is saving me with that,
Mm,
to be honest. I
yeah.
don't usually because I actually do fake a lot of, and I remember talking to people in the community and just randomly talking a lot of blast bullshit and gave a lot of great NI. My point
Hmm.
with that is I don't have NI. I know I don't have NI because every time I try to do the NI, I do the NI and then I go to NE or SI for that matter. But the thing is, I still do have some weird because of the way my functions work with together, right? Like I have a lot of NE, a lot of NE,
Yeah.
but I'm still activated on the masculine SI, which combined gives some weird NI. So I am definitely very future planning looking
Mhm.
naturally. It's not really what trips me up. Um, I think for me it's more in the moment, understanding the opportunities which has been given to me that I don't quite see, or because what I feel like with my demon NE, a lot of the time is connected to the FE. So
Mhm.
I think I actually talked about it a little bit in the last live show that I made, where it's kind of like this ego thing, where it's like I will understand things like 5 minutes later, like
Mm.
something will happen and be like, why are these people in these emotional stage? That's a really weird, like, and then 5 minutes like, I understand it now, but now it's too late, the opportunity is gone. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so it's
Got
more
you.
like the understanding of that, I think, in the moment. Like, I don't understand in the moment, give me 5 minutes and then it will come.
Yeah.
But it's not always as fast as I feel like the indie people sometimes can be. It is when I'm conscious
Yeah.
of it. Actually, I feel like I can turn it on and be like, okay, any, do your thing. But if I'm just going unconscious brain through the day, like, yeah, it's weird. Like, I give me 5 minutes and then I understand it needs a little. It's a little slow, not bad. It understands things just as great as any NI savior person. It's just 5 seconds slower, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like we can all use all functions, but it's just a different order
Yeah.
to things. Yeah. I feel that delayed effect with certain functions too. And they are there, but not fast enough. Or yeah,
Mm.
I get you. And to be fair, I think in this case, this manager is probably SI lead, so there would be that huge
I was about to
gap.
ask that actually because it sounds so
Yeah,
IJ like. It sounds very
yeah,
IJ
yeah,
like
yeah.
lead SI. If you say SI, then I would guess lead SI.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a huge difference. And as they say also like the stack matters, so your any is second in the stack. So interesting how you're describing that pseudo NI, like a fusion of your NE and SI.
Yeah.
Um, mm. I think I don't know if you've heard about the Insight podcast. It's spelled INSITE. So it's Rebecca and Gemma, and they are SITE. Blast, play, consume, sleep,
I don't
crackheads.
think I have no. I'm consumed last. So
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Anyways, they recently had I think his name is Brian on the show, and he used to be working for NASA as some
oh
engineer. Maybe you know about him. He's TESI, the same crackhead
yeah, I
on
have talked
Stack.
to him a few times. Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
know that
yeah.
guy.
And he has an interesting explanation on that, like the fusion that happens in the middle. I don't remember the details of it, but if you want to look into that specific episode, you will get a really cool and good explanation of what you just described. Like he has his own theory, so to speak.
Interesting. Yeah, he have talked a little bit on Facebook. It might. Yeah, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
on Discord chats also, he's around there sometimes too, as well.
Right, right. Yeah, and I'm just blasting about it. I don't really know much. I just
It's
picked
fine.
up like this, oh, this sounds similar,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
and
yeah.
I yeah, connecting everything. Maybe it's not the same thing. Anyways, so let's move on here. Yeah, given that you've been in the community for a while, you've known your type for almost 7 years. I suppose in everyday life today, it's easier for you to catch a few doing whatever functions or needs. Can you tell me a little bit about it, like in everyday life? What does that look like for you?
uh, it's actually quite annoying. Like now, it's more chill. I'm more relaxed about it. But the thing about it, like the demons we have right at the bottom, we get very triggered and very offended.
Hmm.
Now, I for a long time I had come to a point where I've worked on so much where it's like it's actually fine, but as my body still reacts to it. My mind is eyed. It's not doing the freak out thing as much, but my body is still reacting to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to learn to like it's been like a physical fight in some sense with my own mind and my own body, like trying not to get triggered by single deciding, because I know when I'm a single decider and I know when I'm this and that, and I see it all the fucking time, and it's very draining and triggering at the same time. But it
Mm.
comes to a point where it kind of like, because I've also gotten really like good at it, um that it's not so bad anymore, but I still get triggered. Like I still get triggered.
Yeah, yeah. Can you like, I mean, maybe it's too personal or, IPs like to hide, I heard, but
Yes.
if you have like some sort of more like sensory example just to paint out the picture of what that looks like to someone who is like an observer.
I'm trying to find an example. That's the problem right now. It's not so much because I'm trying to hide it right now. I'm trying to find something that might
Okay,
be
we can come back to that later if something, pops up.
yeah, pops up. Sure.
Yeah, we could go back to something that you mentioned before. You talked about how the IPs are quite feminine, I think you said.
Yeah.
And I know from previous interviews, I was checking out a few interviews where you've been before, that you, just to prepare, IJ style. But anyway, you mentioned that we all have both the feminine and masculine sides to us, right? So how would you describe your feminine side or sides?
Um well, I think it's very like my personal or just in general.
Yeah, your personal. Yeah.
More personal. Well, it I feel like you have to understand my feminine side, you also have to understand the masculine side, which is like, yeah, the masculine side is very like Mike Tyson, masculine as if it's very like I wanna physically fight
Mm-hmm.
and bite and like for like I
Bite?
love, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I love
wow.
fighting, I love physical fighting. It's not, it's not something you would say out loud in
Mm-hmm.
normal society because
Yeah, I know.
yeah, yeah, but I definitely do enjoy those things. It's quite nice. It's quite therapeutic to me,
Mm-hmm.
and I can definitely be very, yeah, I can definitely see myself be very masculine to that. But where like the feminine side comes is like definitely with the nerdy stuff. I'm not as pushy with the nerdy stuff. I'm not as pushy with like you can see Jordan Peterson how he's like fighting for his
Oh,
cause,
yeah.
fighting for
Mm-hmm.
everything, and I'm kind of like, yeah, I have my TI opinions. Sure, I have my worldview, but I'm not as pushy. Like if someone with masculine NT, if it's masculine NIT, especially actually, but generally masculine NT,
Mm-hmm.
I become so consumed like and so quiet because I just takes like naturally in. I'm not pushing so much on it. I'm just taking it in slowly.
Mm-hmm.
And I become very like you can definitely see I'm a very masculine guy for sure, but I'm also at the same time very feminine. It's hard to put to word. I feel like my feminine side, it's when it becomes very psychedelic and very abstractly intellectual. Like it's very creative for sure and very movable and
Mm-hmm.
very spacey. And I think my feminine side comes a lot with the, yeah, with the NT, with the spacey imagination way of thinking. Like I can move my way of thinking a lot, and it gets like almost like it's tea sometimes. It get moves very easy by things. Now it always like finds its own shape again. It's not like that. It always return to what is really is, but it's always very it moves to whatever it's meeting. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where it's like in the physical, I will fight you.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have a physical fight if you want that. Like I'm definitely such a bitch when it comes to that. But when it comes to listening, like when I do to my go to my consume mode, I'm actually very like just taking in. There is this girl who is like she's love talking about like intellectual stuff. I think she have masculine NT. I don't know what kind of masculine NT it is. I'm not sure. But she definitely loves to talk about it, and she's always getting nervous when I'm getting quiet. But the thing about it is because she is being so masculine on the ENT that I'm just sitting there and like, look, even though if I disagree with you, like I cannot fight it. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
sitting here taking in the understanding. Oh, I can kind of see how that could work out, or how that could be, or how you see it like that. Or like I just casually, very calmly, very like femininely takes it in. And then when I blast, I'm very aggressive and very like almost stereotypically Italian, like where it's like the whole physical body moves
Yeah.
and everything. Um, yeah. Also, like I remember Shannon talking about this with the feminine consume.
Mm-hmm.
Remembering what you're consuming. Oh my God, that is so hard. I have to like listen to something two times sometimes before
Yeah.
I remember, because like my consume is so feminine. So it's like I did take it in and I might remember one thing about it, but like to remember the whole thing, I have to like take it in some more times. And that might also just be like consume last, but because it needs to like connect to my OI in some ways slowly.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely feel like my NE will trick me a lot because it does this weird thing where I'm consuming something and then I'm consuming something and then my mind goes to like, oh, this makes me think of this, that then makes me think of this, and then I'm not consuming anything anymore because
Mm,
now I'm
you're sleep
consuming.
processing.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a little bit about the consumer list. Anyways, the femininity. Yeah, I think I'm just not like intellectually speaking. I'm just not aggressive with that. I'm not aggressive with my opinions. I'm actually very like move like personally, me is very movable. Like I can be whatever you need and whatever you want to some degree. I do have my like masculine SI where I'm like, okay, to this line here,
Mm-hmm.
but I will definitely move along, even though I internally disagree. The emotions are very masculine and very outwardly, um, but the thinking is very spacey, movable. Yeah,
Yeah, so yeah, I have so many questions on this. Let's see if I can remember. Feminine NT here.
yay,
Or not really. It's actually not
a
feminine. It's
mix. I
visual.
have
Visual. Yeah, it's a mix. But yeah, the NI is feminine. It's so hard to remember. But what I was thinking, like, if you are going along internally with your TI, because TI is still very personal to you. So your like the consistency of your inner logic should be in place because that's your identity, so to speak. And so if you are moving yourself, I mean, that sounds beautiful to be able to become whatever is needed in a situation. And it's like a superpower also, like almost being invisible in a way, NF
it
talk
is
here.
in a way. Yeah, sure. Yeah,
Yeah. But I think like sooner or later, I'm just wondering, do you hit like a point where you are like, oh, I've been going on like along for too long? Like what I can feel with feminine FE, I do that, and then my masculine TI will lash out
for sure. Yeah,
or
I do.
lash. Yeah,
Yeah, no,
somehow
I get what you
lash.
mean. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it definitely do. Like, I get to a situation where it's like, guys, I cannot do this. This is too unpractical for me.
Hmm.
I cannot do this. I cannot do this. Or I will find myself in situations where I'm like, yeah, I know you all think this and all that, but this is like with my opinions or whatever. Um, this is like not what I'm like this is not my truth, but I would still like push it way too long. I would still get it to move way too long, and then the masculine, if we will slowly, unconsciously lash a little bit out because I'm
Mm.
actually not happy. The
Yeah.
emotions are not happy because I'm not in a place where my TI is aligning with
Hmm.
whatever is going on. So for sure, no, for sure. Like I need to make the feminine TI more masculine, or else it will at some point get the masculine iffy slowly over time out. So I definitely do like need to make it more masculine, yeah. Else
Yeah.
because it gets moved too much to a point where like I kind of forget myself and kind of like all what I who I am is not really who I am anymore because I'm kind of like moving it too much to the other people,
Mm-hmm.
whatever they desire, not desire, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, for
yeah,
sure, for sure, for sure. And I have to remember that
yeah.
it's been such a hard thing to make my TI more masculine and be like, no, 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 I'm not, you know,
Yeah, to become that no machine. Like Benjamin, for example, he will say
yes,
no to everything. Like, I don't think he's even aware of it. Okay, hi, Benjamin, if you watch this, but like when I watch his hangouts, for example, like in every situation, he has like a disagreement to
yes,
begin with. Sometimes he says, and I think that's really beautiful, he says, oh, that's a really good point. Or quite often he actually does say that, to be fair. But there is like this instinctual no. And I can tell with my mom, I think she's, or I would say, I know she's masculine TI at the top. Like her default answer is no, like before you even ask the question, or, yeah, it's hard to describe, but it's just something that is
I know what you mean. Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
opposite of whatever you're saying.
Yeah, because for me, it's very much, it's not no. For me, it's like, sure. And when I say sure, like, yeah, sure,
Mm-hmm.
I might agree. It's not that. For sure, I can agree. But a lot of time I'm just saying sure because like I don't want to like fight on the tea, you know what I mean? We can disagree. It's fine. I don't give a shit. I don't
Mm-hmm.
give a shit. So for me, like I will definitely I don't say no, I say sure, just to
Yeah.
get disagree. And then when the other person goes away, I can do my shit again. And that's what I also mean by like my feminine TI will shape around whatever externally it is
Mm.
that moves it. But once that goes away, it finds its own shape again once I get alone. So it have its already its original shape. It's just that if I stay around people too much who are not aligning with my TI, like really, really not aligning with my TI,
Mm.
I do kind of get angry,
Mm-hmm.
and my masculine heavy will not be happy. So I have to like I can do it for a certain amount of time, or I have to be masculine TI with them and hope that they don't kill me for it. Um, or else I have to
They
like
won't. They won't.
no, I know, but single designer we have to like still be
Yeah.
fearful of that. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I also have to like have a break from them.
Mm-hmm.
My and I don't know if this is the right solution for it, but my solution for it have simply to find people who, generally speaking, align more with my mass, no, with my TI.
Mm-hmm.
Not that they have to like we can disagree. It's not about like we have to be completely the same. More just like people who are more similar to whatever my TI is. They don't have to be TI, just whatever going on is something that my TI that doesn't move my TI too much. And if it
Mm.
does, it moves it in a healthy way because that's another thing. It will also move to toxic bad shit. It will move
Oh,
to
yeah.
anything.
Right. It can. Yeah. Because if it's movable, it's movable. Like it doesn't
Exactly.
distinguish between the two.
Exactly. So I
Mm.
have to be around like healthy people, like in daily life.
Mm.
Of course, I can, deal with anyone, but in daily life, like my
Yeah.
my closest friends, my girlfriends, whatever, they have to, yeah, align with my TI.
Right. Because otherwise, yeah, you will move with the tribe.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I have definitely been in some relationship and friendships and all that where
Yeah.
it's like my TI was moved way too much into like very toxic shit,
Mm.
and it's kind of like no.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That makes perfect sense. Um, I'm thinking because you have that masculine double activated strong FE, even though it's a demon, but it's still super present. And I think is it like you have a very strong sense of wanting to protect the vibe, for example, like even though you have this savior need for logical consistency, but you still have to protect the vibe, and yeah, you have this desire for emotional harmony, like
Sure, yeah, it is, yeah. I wouldn't put it with that wording. I would say it's more I will like emotionally if I see injustice or if something is fucking with the vibe, making the
Mm-hmm.
vibe inharmonious, or like it's not necessarily if someone brings bad chemicals or emotions to the table, but if they do bring bad chemicals or emotions to the table, I definitely see myself being more triggered, I guess, and more fighting on that. I'm definitely like in a Tupac sense, if you know him, fighting more on
Mm-hmm.
like the emotions and the values, what is morally right or morally wrong, and not because I can tell always what that is because I'm a human being, but
Mm.
I definitely see myself like that's what gets my like gets me, if you know what I mean, like it gets me
Yeah,
going when that is.
like
I
a
definitely
social justice warrior kind of
yes.
thing.
It's so annoying. It's so annoying. But yeah, it definitely for sure. Like I have to like learn myself because I've grew up with gangs. I
Mm.
have to learn myself like not to like if I see someone getting jumped or robbed or kicked to not join in.
Oh,
Why?
yeah,
Because sometimes when people are getting their ass kicked, I'm not saying it's okay to it's do physical violence, it's not. But it's not also my place to be the moral judge of whether or not they deserved it. Because what if this person has been cheating with someone else's big mafia boss girlfriend or
yeah,
whatever
right.
it might be?
Yeah.
That's just gonna start even more fucking drama. Just you know what I mean? Just
Yeah, it's better to call the police maybe if it's
yes,
like a emergency.
yeah. I know what you mean. But
Mm.
generally speaking, like you don't I don't have to be the fighter if that makes sense.
Mm.
Like I can stand by, I
Yeah.
guess. For
Yeah, I
sure.
remember you were talking about that with Benjamin, like it can actually be
Well,
dangerous if you don't
yeah.
control that side of yourself. And it seems
Yes.
like you do control that side of yourself now.
I do. But definitely masculine SF is actually quite like physically dangerous. And if you notice, I don't know if you're following along with the Puff Daddy, P. Diddy case.
Mm,
Uh,
yeah, I'm not following along, but yeah, tell me.
that's fair. He's definitely he's at this moment being accused a lot of like I think sex trafficking, rape,
Oh.
physical abuse, drugging people, like all sort of really
Mm-hmm.
crazy ass shit, right? And I found that the people with masculine SF, they have been talking about this, and I can see them with other people too as well. Like they are actually very, very dangerously, physically speaking. It's like they are more animalistically serial killer like in some sense.
Oh,
And I
interesting.
definitely see it in myself. Like there is a
A
I think
tendency.
yeah, exactly. I think back in the ancient days when we were like monkeys or when we were like in the old days, right? A
Mm.
lot of years ago. I think my kind of people were probably the fighters, the
Mm.
warriors who went out to fight. It's
Yeah.
very much in our DNA to fight. It do needs to get stimulated in
Mm-hmm.
some ways, but it's still not a good thing. It can be in certain scenarios, but it's not a good thing. And I think the masculine SF can definitely be very aggressive.
Very aggressive. Yeah. I find that I'm just thinking of it now, like thinking about who has that. And the first person that came to mind was actually Dave.
Oh,
His consume is SF, right?
yes.
So it's double masculine. And yeah, I mean, he's been typing a lot of these warrior types, these fighters and MMA people. And yeah, seems like they enjoy consuming that kind of aggressiveness. And he can sound pretty aggressive too when he's blasting. But I think maybe with you, I'm just making this up as I go now, but you have the double masculine blast, not consume. So maybe it's going out more like you're talking about actual physical fights that you've been involved with before. Yeah,
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
yeah, just analyzing it because that's an interesting thought. That makes so much sense, like that the SF would be dangerous in different ways.
Yeah, no, it is. But don't get me wrong, masculine NT or masculine NF for that matter is also very fucking dangerous in its own right. It's just in a different way, I have
How is
found.
that dangerous? Because yeah, that's super interesting. I've
Okay, I
got
might be
masculine
very
ST consume, by the way, just to
no, it's fine, it's fine.
to
I might be
myself.
wrong about his type. I don't know what Jeffrey Dahmer's type is, but I don't think he's masculine on the ESF. I don't know what he's masculine on, but I don't think it's the ESF. It might actually be, but I don't think so.
Mm,
They will, some of them will be more dangerous in that way. They will scam, and then will they will manipulate and mentally abuse. Also, might be a thing.
mm,
They are more like not necessarily as physically abusing, but more mentally abusing. Some of them is more like they will do crime because crimes can be more than just rape, killing, fighting, and
yeah.
it can be a lot of things. You can be a hacker.
Mm, mm.
Masculine NT example,
Oh,
hacking.
there, the bad guys are the hackers.
Exactly, the hackers. Gotta stop the hackers. Gotta stop Bill Gates on his spaceship or
Ah,
something.
great
Or
example.
they will like there can be a lot of things they can do, but generally speaking, like I feel like from what I've seen, it's like everyone can do crime and do bad things. It's
Yeah,
just the masculine
definitely.
FS tend to like it's the fist, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's very physical. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm, yeah. Right. I was just thinking of I'm watching a show, a Swedish show. I don't know if you've heard of Knutby. It's a
Can,
pretty famous thing that happened here in Sweden. It's like a cult where the cult leader was a woman.
I
And I
haven't heard
think
of that.
I think she is. I'm trying to type her as I'm watching the documentaries, and also they made like a dramatization, like a show. She seems like maybe visual SETE jumper number one type. Maybe I'm not sure. She looks a little bit like that. But yeah, I'm just thinking of how she was, in what way she was dangerous. Um, because she was very, I don't know, it's hard to describe. Like she had this one side that was super feminine, maybe the feminine FI and feminine S, like super soft. And then she could like really punch people, like both psychologically, but also physically. At times she would slap them in the face. And yeah, it's very interesting to see like this ended traumatically. It was like two people got killed and someone was not assassin. He made it the last guy, but he got like, yeah, he was injured for life. So
Holy
quite
shit.
unusual thing to happen like here in Sweden because Sweden is such a small country, but it's
Yeah, yeah, I
like
guess.
super big thing here. Everyone knows about it. Yeah.
Yeah, also because in Denmark we don't really, I might be wrong, but I don't think we ever really have a cult in Denmark. We have gangs. I guess you could call that a cult
Yeah.
in some ways if you want to
Yeah.
define it like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also Sweden, like yeah, sure, they also have like gang problems. But I never heard about cults. Like it feels so foreign to me, like the
Yeah, it's
Nordic
super
countries.
foreign because it's like it's not a religious country at all. Like
Yeah,
Sweden is
yeah, exactly.
super, yeah, super atheistic. So it's interesting the contradiction there. Yeah, anyways, let's move on with the questions. Um, yeah, just to conclude like this topic about the FE and the TI, like do you ever feel that the desire for social harmony overrides the need for personal truth in your case?
Yeah, sure. Like I'm always aware. No, not always aware. More, maybe more just fearful of like, okay, this is my truth. This is what I not in an if sense believe in, but this is what I believe, and this is how thing works for me, and this is what I want to do, and yada yada yada.
Mm,
And that I need to keep for myself and shut up about because that is not something that is socially accepted with the kind of people that I might be with. I definitely have felt that a lot of times where I have to like I know my TI, I know
mm,
my truth,
mm-hmm.
but I can feel if I say it I will get iffy, shamed,
Yeah.
not necessarily verbally. Like they don't necessarily say anything. It's just their whole body language and their facial expression, and we'll be like, "You don't do that, don't do that, don't say that. That's disgusting." Like the
Yeah.
whole body language will tell me that, and then will later, if you do it too much, lead to that they will not invite you to things, or they will treat you in
Right.
certain ways.
Uh-huh.
Um, Sometimes it's not because it's a struggle of me oversharing my TI, and then that will happen. Sometimes the problems is more the fear of it
Mm.
than it's an actual reality. It's more the fear sometimes. Sometimes it have been a reality, but most times it's more like a fear, I think. Again, going back to the same girl I talked about with the masculine NT, she definitely have tried to move me to be more also masculine with my TI,
Mm.
because she can see that I'm like, nope, I disagree with whatever being said here,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not gonna say it because I'm afraid of being socially shamed. I'm
Yeah.
afraid it will fuck with the harmony, the emotional value harmony, right?
Mm.
So I would just be friendly with the TI and agree with whatever's going on. And then she's like, yo, dude, I can see you fucking lying here, and this is not, I can see you disagreeing a mile away. You can tell your truth. It's still something I'm struggling with because I can feel my whole physical body being like, I'm afraid they will burn me at the stake and burn
Mm.
me like a witch. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's a fear.
In a way, I feel like socially, the single deciders are often nicer,
Oh,
because maybe of the fear of, being cut
yeah.
off from the tribe or judged or whatever. Like they are more well behaved, while the double deciders may be a little bit more, you know.
Yeah, no, I talked to an ENTJ about this. He's TESE double masculine, also number one, funny enough.
Hmm.
I actually talked to this dude about this. He was like, double designers, right? They can be more single designers than us because like we
Mm.
feel the tribe or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So we're trying to be nice and behave.
Hmm.
And these people, they're just like, yeah, I don't give a shit if you're all offended. I'm still gonna walk around naked and say fuck you all. Like, and you're just like, how is that not single deciding? How is that not single? But that's because the body and the chemical brain chemicals are not tied to being triggered or sensitive, or afraid of it, like, and whatever. So I feel like once, if you have an immature, toxic child double decider, they will sometimes go like way worse than some I've seen single deciders sometimes,
Hmm.
because they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit, especially if the DI. It's even fucking worse. Even worse if it's savior DI,
Yeah,
masculine
right.
DI. It's
Yeah.
like, God fucking damn it.
Because the tribe will always be there. They don't fear losing the tribe.
Exactly. It's and I'm so jealous of that. I'm kind of like, I'm well behaving and everything is going fine and everyone loves me, it's fine, and I'm still like, they all hate me now because like I broke the dishes or something. I don't know.
Mm. I feel sad. I feel sorry for you guys. That's not true. I mean, you can be yourselves as well. But I mean, I guess maybe with single deciders, it's more like a case of either they are really nice, or
Mm,
when they've had it, it's more like the sledgehammer is there. And yeah, the steps between aren't as clear. They are more happening internally, maybe, or behind your back, but they are not happening in front of you. And
yeah,
then there
that's
is
a
the punch
that's a
or the
nice
hammer.
observation of it actually. Yeah, sure, true. That no, that's actually true. That's actually true. Yeah, it's very it's I feel like the single deciding is actually like, yeah, sure, fear and everything, and it can also for some people be very much a lot. But I feel like a lot of time it's like it's the build up. Yeah, it's the build up. It really is. It depends on the person though. If it's a very like, and this is with everyone, but if it's a very toxic, immature person, and the person is a single decider, no, they will also be an asshole throughout the day, and then that will
Mm,
also lead to loneliness and whatever, right?
yeah.
But for sure, it's like it just happened like this, and everyone's so confused about like what's
Mm,
going on, what's happening, why is this person now being the biggest asshole? Because I feel like
mm,
yes, double deciders can be the world's biggest asshole, but I feel like single deciders are even more assholes when it's that time of the month, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Like,
right. That time of the month. Yeah, that's so true. Like double deciders, they are like a little bit of an asshole all the time,
yes,
but it's
yes.
never that like super punch or yeah.
Exactly, where it comes randomly, suddenly out of the blue, and then it's just going overboard with it. Now I got all this pissed off energy.
Yeah.
Now I'm biased with the masculine energy, right? But still, I have all this pissed off energy, and
Mm-hmm.
now it's time to punch. And then it just punch even fucking harder, and everyone is crying, and you're just like Adolf Hitler now. Like,
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think he had masculine FE,
oh,
right? Well, let's not go there. Everyone has a type anyways.
yeah, true, true.
We all choose what we do with our types. I have more questions. It's so interesting to talk to you. How is your time? Like, what are your limits?
Oh, I can like,
We can go on for a bit.
yeah, sure, sure,
Okay,
sure, sure.
cool, cool. Yeah, I was thinking of tidal waves, and in terms of several aspects of your amazing personality type, because we both have the consume last. So one thing I'm curious of is about forced updates. If you ever have felt like those have hit you and how. And then I was thinking about the number one thing as well. I don't know if you watched the first live show about the socials, the part one.
I have yours or Damon Shannon's.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, Dave and Chance.
I have watched some of them.
Yeah,
I haven't watched in these past months, I think 2 months,
yeah. I
but
think
I've
this
definitely,
is the
yeah.
first one she ever had, like
Oh yeah,
the
no, I
one where
definitely watched
she,
that one.
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, because I remember she said like she was explaining the different tidal waves for each social type. So for the number two, it would be being overworked, for example,
Yeah,
which by the way makes perfect sense because you know they have changed the animals of the socials now.
I saw that. Yeah.
Just a little bit of a parenthesis here, but on this channel, I actually had a nice conversation with Antoine in I think February, and we were talking about that too. Like we see the double activated blast for the number one, the double activated play for the number two, double activated sleep for number three, and double activated consume for the number four. So that's really cool that she has been observing this in the actual sensory too, because we just, yeah, did the NITI kind of math, but we didn't have any proof, but we just felt like something is off here.
Mm.
So to me, that change is awesome. It's nice when NI, sometimes it's not right all the time, but sometimes when it hits on point, with
No,
something.
NI is very great on that one. When it hits, it just mwah, it hits perfectly. Like NI is very great. I feel like it's more very unconscious people with NI where it gets dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
But no, 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 no. NI is like wild. Like I have very much respect for NI. I also have respect for SE, but goddamn, I wrote in the Facebook community for not that long ago because someone's like, NESI is so boring. And I'm like, dude, SE,
Mm-mm.
I have been with some SE girls in my life, and that's just like I cannot consume that shit for long because it's so boring.
It's
But NI
not
is
your
great.
consume.
Yeah, exactly, exactly, exactly.
I
Anyways,
Yeah, that's a bit of a contrast. Well, and I can absolutely be off and totally wrong as well. I just want to say that for the record. But yeah, what I was thinking of in this context is that it makes sense that, for example, the number two, the tidal wave for them would be that they are overworked because according to, yeah, what we can see now, all of us can see now, it's a sleep last because if you're sleep last, then you are double activated play, right? So
mm,
that would be making perfect sense that then the tidal wave is that you are burned out. But for the number one, and I don't remember the reasons, but she said that mutiny would be the tidal wave for the number one. Yeah,
yes.
tell me, you're laughing. I want to hear what you're thinking.
Well, there's a lot of ways you can put that on. I do not know how to connect it with blast. I can talk about consume last slash being an IP, what that means.
Hmm.
That's a different thing. But I definitely the mutiny thing, yeah, sure. Like the two aspects I have seen in my own personal life. I feel like one thing is like everyone always have to test you to see if
Mm-hmm.
you're the real deal. The thing about it, before I got typed, I was walking around with this aria, like this energy, without realizing it myself. Of a, I hate to say it, but of a king, of someone who is greater than life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just don't give a shit, and I'm the best, and I'm the leader. Even though don't necessarily feel like that internally. Like I don't necessarily feel like that actually.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely walk around like I am, and people have to test it, and it doesn't work very well when you're growing up in a environment where there are people who do crimes, and other kids will look up to that and be like, "Oh my God, it's so cool to be a gangster," you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then they want to pick on someone they think is easy, but at the same time, who thinks he is, better than anyone else. My point is, people want to test if you're the real deal, if you are the number
Mm-hmm.
one, so they will come after you. Now, is that mutiny? No, but in a sense it is, because it's like they're now coming after you and wanna like ruin your bullshit, right? You want to ruin your shit or something. So I definitely tried that. Like a lot of people have actually tried to like physically fight me or something. So
Yeah.
I've been in a lot of physical fights throughout my life. The thing about mutiny specifically is like, as number one, you have your business plan or something. You have your scheme, you have your goals, you have your way to the top, and you want to bring people with you. You do want to bring the DE with you, but the
Mm-hmm.
thing about it is like they are not as either ambitious as you, or you are working them too hard, or whatever. There can be a lot of million TE reasons for it, and they all in the end doesn't really matter. Like they do because you want to work on them, but for this point it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
My point is, I have definitely tried like people either not necessarily that much like they are trying to come after me, but more or less like they're just like leaving because they cannot keep up. Oh my God, this is gonna sound arrogant. They cannot keep up with my standards of things and my ambitions, so they have to leave because they're not as ambitious with the working, the
Yeah.
music or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
So I've definitely been in bands where they're like, I wouldn't call it mutiny because mutiny seems like you're going to like, again, like it's a pirate ship and like now we're gonna take over the ship. I have not
Mm-hmm.
tried that yet. It might come. It will be fun if it comes.
Ooh.
But I have definitely tried people being like, no, I don't want to be in this band because this is too ambitious, and you have plans for this to go a little longer than I want to. So I'm
Mm.
gonna go over to this band, but it's just nice and cozy. We might not make a lot of money,
Mm-hmm.
but it's nice and cozy.
Yeah.
Um, so definitely something about like, and then again, me also being in IP,
Mm-hmm.
people will leave because it's too like the self-significance and the standards and the ambitions is too high. So the only one that can reach them is me, because I'm the
Right.
only one actually putting in the pressure to like
Yeah.
building that up, right?
Yeah.
So definitely, um,
Mm.
if you're not around ambitious people and you're number one, you definitely will get mutiny in that sense. Yeah, they will leave, not necessarily fight you or come after you, but just leave. I do have tried one time. Some people kind of betraying me. In some sense, I guess. I don't know how to put the details in with that. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to distinguish and separate the IP in me
Mm.
and also the number one. As you say, those two just works very well together. Like they click. So it's really
Yeah.
hard for me to like put them apart. I think for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm thinking just of the concept of mutiny, like if the number one is the IP with sleep, blast, play, consume, like you, like what they said in the beginning,
Mm.
the consume last wouldn't consume what other people like how they view you in a way.
Mm. Yeah.
So it would be like a shock when you find out, because I can see that not necessarily number ones, but like managers that I think of that are consume last. I have quite a few of those, and I think that's the case, when they don't consume how the information that they give is received, because they are blasters, they will give information in various ways, um, and just expect the tribe to follow along, not really do the pinging because there isn't this back and forth. And then there will be kind of a mutiny in a sense, because then people start talking behind their backs,
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, sure, yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
like that's kind of
Rumors,
a,
people would talk.
yeah.
Like I feel like it's a stereotypical thing. Like you can have kings, right? Go back to
Mm,
medieval days. You have the king, and then if the king doesn't do a good job or people are not happy about certain things, they will
mm,
like start rumors behind the back. Oh, I bet his wife is cheating with some like peasant dude or something
right.
disgusting like that. They will start talking shit, and then slowly over time, if the look at the French Revolution, look at the Russian Revolution. It's a great
Mm,
example. I don't think he was a number one though, but the archetype of that, the
yeah.
metaphor for that, the concept of that, I feel like it's that. Where it's like if you don't really like go down to the people, a good
Mm,
king goes down to the people and talk to the people and get the, as you say, the point of view from them. Like they
mm-hmm.
lower themselves to the
Yeah,
people,
exactly. Yeah.
or else like
And
they would
check
be.
in, like, how do you perceive this and what are your thoughts? And
Exactly, exactly. And if you don't do that, no, yeah, they will definitely either leave you or they will come after you with pitchforks and throw you off the throne, and then we will have a Russian revolution. Ain't that great? Um,
yeah.
I've never really tried it where it was really, really, really. I feel like my number one is definitely a thing, but I feel like it's hurting. My number one is hurting me more in that sense of like it's a long road being a number one because the ambition is high. So it's a
Mm,
long road and it's hard to go there and you have to like sacrifice a lot. What is fucking me up is more just like the demon FE. In that sense of like it's very like it's painful, it hurts,
mm,
and the single deciding and the triggering tied to it. Sometimes it's not even because like I fuck up necessarily. It's just like I'm so aware of it and mixed with my body is like built for like being triggered when I fuck up the decider
mm.
stuff
Yeah.
that it then yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. It's yeah, really interesting to hear that perspective. Like, we've talked a lot about the deciders, which is natural. The TI and the FE is, it's really interesting. But I was thinking of maybe jumping to the observers for a little bit. I was thinking about us both being OI and also double activated OI, but different, but still that's the same principle there.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you do when your life suddenly changes, for example? How do you
Hmm.
react?
Depends on what it is. If I don't like the change, then I'm getting very depressed, mad even. I definitely had like for a long time I had this conflict in my head, which was very single deciding. Like, look at me not resolving my decider issue, in that sense of like I had some friends and the girlfriend which I knew wasn't the one for me, and the friends weren't like really healthy for me, and I was really questioning whether or not this was a true friendship or whether or not if I belong there or if I could find something better. And
Hmm.
then I just stayed there for too long because I thought I couldn't. Like this is the best we get. You gotta be like grateful for what you have, right? So, like the whole saying of like the green is not, no, the
The
grass is
grass.
not greener on the other side.
Hmm.
uh, but then again, I'm consumed last. So sometimes you have to do that change. You have to do that change. So I'm kind of like IP. IP is infamous for burning down bridges and changing friend groups, right?
Hmm.
But at this, so I shouldn't do that. I should build with the people I have now. But at the same time, I'm consumed last. So I should do that. That was very conflicting in me.
Okay, yeah.
Um, Also with the girlfriend I had at the time, because I knew she wasn't the one. I knew, but still wanted to not be a single decider and just leave when things
Or
was
hard.
rough. Yeah,
Hmm.
exactly. And actually trying to like double decide and build on it and trying to do some self growth, right?
Hmm.
And then I just like it was very rough, very messy. very not fun. But then I just like turned over to the consume the OE and was like, nah, fuck that shit. And
Mm,
then I changed, and then got some new friends. I still have friends from the past. It's not because it completely like changed everything. I'm just saying like I like she broke up with the girlfriend, found some new friends, and I actually found out what kind of people I wanted in my life,
mm,
and what kind of things I am searching for and looking for. I think.
yeah. So what kind of people are you looking for?
For sure, creative people like myself, artist people, but
Mm-hmm.
also a more ambitious people, more academically interested people, intelligent people, people who can stimulate my TI and my NE actually. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that's very healthy for me.
Yeah.
And mature people, very mature people, because OPS have forced some kind of level of maturity in me that like it's hard for me to explain, but I sometimes feel like I'm older than I'm really is in my mind
Yeah.
because of OPS, which makes it harder to sometimes connect to some people. So I feel like more mature people, more self growth people, people aligning more with my TI. Hey, here we go. Um, Definitely for sure. So yeah, like people, not that it have to be like me, but less, I think, less gangster and more mature, but still creative and very academically interested in things, um,
Mm.
and smart intelligence. Something that stimulates my TI and my NE, and where I can play the NEFE game, but at the same time, yeah, also like I can a place where I can get my FE out, um, and do the FE. I think, yeah,
Yeah, that sounds really like a good plan. I
yeah,
find that too, like if you can have people around you that have those qualities, like even what you said, like maybe people with NT consume for you, and for me, people with ST consume, it's like they can help you build those parts of yourself that are slightly weaker. And at the same time, because I have their opposite functions or in a different order, I can help them build. So it's kind of a win-win situation.
for
Um,
sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's very helpful if you can have close friends like that, for sure. Um, yeah, you mentioned that you are a writer, an author.
Yes.
Yeah. Are you a published or are you waiting to get published
Not
author?
yet. I'm still writing on my
Yeah.
first fucking goddamn book, and it's taking forever. I shouldn't say forever because like
I
I
want
have
to
been.
read it
I
whenever
can
it
send it.
comes. Yeah,
I will send
please.
it. I promise. I will. I will. I have been thinking about this story for like years,
Mm,
just TI creating it in my mind. Um, and then I finally started writing it down for like a year ago, and then a lot of tidal waves hit, and then I stopped, and then I started for like I think 5 months ago. Start writing it again. Now I'm
mm,
doing a lot of shit. I'm also like practicing producing music and slowly like trying to do an album, trying to put it up on Spotify and YouTube and those sort
mm,
of things.
mm.
So I'm doing a lot of things, and I'm also like being with friends and family and trying to
Yeah,
be a
yeah.
good number four, right? And do my
Oh,
DP.
wow. That's
Yes,
so good.
exactly. So it's a slow work, but I'm definitely getting there. I'm definitely getting there. But yeah, no, it's not published yet, but I'm so excited when it does. I really think, of course, I think that, but I really think it's a great story. I hope people will enjoy it. It's
Yeah. So
fantasy stuff.
it's fantasy, dark fantasy. I watched the Henry Resist Rambling
Yes.
interview.
Oh,
Yeah.
you watched that? Yeah, I talked
Yeah.
about that one actually a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Tell me a
Okay.
little bit, just like a snippet, like a big, quick.
It's
Yeah.
about well, it's about a lot of things, but it's about like we have I don't remember exactly what I told there, but it's about this broke ass homeless kid with no parents, of course, because I hate cliches. But I thought of like, okay, let's take a cliche and let's make it interesting.
Ooh.
You know how you have a chosen one, right?
Mm,
Always. you have a chosen one, and there was always he's always a prince, right? He's
Mm-hmm.
always a prince, but he doesn't know it yet because like the parents got killed or something. And now he's like a peasant boy or something.
Mm-hmm.
What if we have all the cliche, but the story is not so much about like here we have that and he doesn't know it and he have to discover it like Harry Potter or something.
Mm-hmm.
No, no. Who is the chosen one? That's what I am asking. So here we have like six, seven, five, whatever people who are
Mm-hmm.
all meant to be the chosen one. And then I will let you decide, the reader, who do you think is the fucking chosen one? Who do you think?
Ooh.
Who do you think? And then I have a plot twist to it because I'm like any genius like that. I'm like, you're never gonna guess it. You're never gonna fucking guess it.
Sounds
Um,
cool.
yeah, I think so too. And it's about like, so we have this homeless dude, kid, and he have heard a rumor. He snuck into a bar and stole some food because he's broke, so he have no money, right? And then he heard this story about like this treasure in this haunted old ruin, old castle
Mm-hmm.
that is in the forest, and he wanna find it so he can get some gold and with his friends buy a big castle and they can live happily together forever, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, a lot of kids are being kidnapped, abducted. They're missing.
Mm-hmm.
Who are stealing the kids? Who are like kidnapping the kids? That's a great question, right? And there is this dude I call the Firefox, who apparently killed someone very important. At the same
Oh.
time, is being accused of kidnapping these kids.
Ah.
And he sees that missing poster, and then he might come to that city, and he might not. This is not really a spoiler, to be honest, but he might not kidnap the kids. He might just be actually a very good guy who are vampire, monster, demon, whatever
Ooh.
hunter.
Okay.
Yes. So he trains the kid because something funny will happen
Uh-huh.
with the city. It's going to be very interesting. So it's kind of like a mystery. It's kind of like a crime mystery at the same time because it's like, okay, who kidnaps these kids and why are they being kidnapped? Because you would think kidnapping children is something like sexual. Sure, you could make it a metaphor for that,
Mm-hmm.
for pedophilia, but it's not really that. There's something way, 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 way more sinister going on because I am dark and twisted like that. So I thought, let's hit this even way worse. So let's go even darker. So I'm trying to make this a children's book, which
Ooh.
then turns very dark because it's not a children's book. So I'm trying to like present it and build it in a very like child-friendly manner, but it's not. It's not like I'm glorifying and romanticizing violence and all those things. Not at all. I'm not Quentin Tarantino going out like that. No, no,
Mm.
no, no, no. But it's not. It's more action packed, I think, because demons and fighting monsters and those sort of things.
Yeah.
And yeah, then it will go on to like their own little journey. The
Hmm.
the little broke kid will go to a journey and he will train and become a monster hunter, and they will figure out who is the chosen one and whatever. And that's all sorts of other main characters also. Like, yeah. It's a big
Wow.
story.
That sounds, yeah, it sounds like a whole world, like a whole system in a way.
It is. It's
Uh,
OI. It's very OI.
yeah, cool. Like, I guess with your functions, that's perfect because with TI and SI, there will be very little inconsistencies, like plot holes, things like that.
I hope so.
Everything, every step will be super like thought through, I'm suspecting.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, sounds like a good quality
Oh, thank you.
story. Yeah. So what do you like hope to achieve when you're writing this story, or what are you striving to accomplish like through your writing in general too?
I think one of the reasons why I write this is because I'm an IP. I'm a number one. So I'm
Mm,
very self-centered. So I wanted to like because I got very inspired by Carl Jung and the Red Book.
mm-hmm.
So I kind of like wanted to make my own Red Book without
Ooh.
doing that. Like it's still like it's inspired. It's like an art way, an art form of me expression my life story and what I've been going through. At the same
Mm,
time, it's not. At the same time, it's just a story that I like just made up in my mind. But a lot of it is also inspired from my own personal life. I know every writer or whatever art, of course, your own life and thoughts and feelings will float into it no matter what you do. But I have just been very conscious of like going into being like, this is my life journey in
mm,
some sense. And in a very beautiful way. The man who is the firefox who kills monsters, right? Who
mm.
is a bounty hunter for that, and the little bro kid is actually a metaphor for like um child me and adult me,
Oh.
and basically just like how I'm maturing myself, how I'm growing myself in some sense, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like different versions of
Yes,
you
yes,
are characters in the story.
yes. That now they're not completely me. I have put some other things in that personality, which is definitely not me, because I don't want to make it too much about me. Um,
Ah.
but I definitely put a lot of it. A lot of the main characters are some aspects of me, if that makes sense, flavored with something else as well.
Yeah.
So it's also that me expressing my life story. Um, but it's also like I feel like I wanted to, yes, it's a becoming of age story. Sure, 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 sure. And sure, there's a lot of blast in it, a lot of like SFNF blast, I guess. In
Mm,
that sense of it's very like I do have something to communicate with this story. The thing about it is it's quite hard for me to put it into words what it is. I feel like you have to experience before I can really like tell what it is, because it's generally like just about life and
mm.
death and everything great with it and everything bad with it, and how like tidal wave can hit. A lot of OPS stuff is
Yeah,
inspired in this book. I said it in Henry's interview as well. Like
you
that's a
did.
lot
Yeah,
of,
I remember the lava thing, the mix of the masculine DE that was fire, and then the stone was masculine SI, and together
yes, or
they
sensory, but
became
yeah, yeah.
lava. Yeah,
Yes, and then you got lava.
yeah.
But it's not only in the magic system, it's also in the main character, not necessarily in the main character, but all the characters. They all have that journey throughout life, right?
Mhm.
And then I got inspired a lot of like my own friends and family and the people we've been typed in the community. And I kind of wanted to like, because the thing I've noticed with a lot of writers or whatever people who make stories or movies, it's very singular focused on like one kind of like tidal wave, where I've kind of like I wanted to have it all. I wanted to have it
Mm.
all. So I wanted to have a story where it shows like how we all different but all the same, but we all go through different shit, but we all, you know what I mean, go through the
Going
same
through
shit.
the same. Yeah, yeah.
So we all have our own journey, and that's why it's like right now I'm only talking about two main characters. I don't remember how many main characters I have yet, but they're more than just two, and they are
Yeah,
all representing of something in OPS and myself also.
yeah.
Um, and that's because I wanted to, yeah, tell the story of like not every type, because I'm not gonna have fucking 6,000 different main characters. Are you crazy? But I will, you know what I mean,
Yeah,
generalize OI and have like, okay,
yeah.
generally speaking, these are the path in life you will go, or something like that.
Mm,
Trying to be
mm.
mystical or something.
Yeah. And I mean, like with Carl Jung, it's pretty good. Like he just described the first function of every type. So there were basically just 8 types, if I
Yeah,
remember correctly.
something like that. Yeah,
Yeah, so we could kind of narrow it down just to the binary coins, for example, not the full types, the 512 or the 1024, or wherever we're going, 2048 soon, or more, but just like, oh yeah, this is an info dom, or this is a number one, or this is like a specialist, yeah, whatever functions there are, like an intuitive or a thinker, or yeah.
for sure, for sure.
Yeah,
And
and
it's
just
also a lot of like energy dump shit with myself. So it's like there's gonna be a lot of comedy too as well, where I'm gonna like make fun of the info doms or the energy doms or the feelers or whatever. Like I'm gonna make fun of all of you. Like
everyone.
yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
now you get to be a double decider in the
Yes,
story. Safe,
I
you're
do.
not gonna lose a tribe.
Yay!
So that's how
Yeah,
you do
no,
it.
it's great. It's great. I can't wait to put it out, mostly because I'm very curious. I want it to get translated in English if it actually
Hmm.
sells a little bit,
Yeah.
if it's possible. But not because I want to make that money. No, no, no. I actually just want people from OPS to read it. Just like, can you
Oh,
see what
that's
I
so
did there? Can you
cool.
see what I did there? You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think in the future, maybe there will be like, yeah, different forms of art being produced, like with influences of OP, like characters in a
Probably.
story, but it could be anything like, yeah.
And Carl Jung have already influenced some music artists. Actually, there's this band called Tool, and they're quite famous in
Yeah, I
those
know
kind of.
about
Oh, you
Tool.
know
Yeah.
Tattoo, nice,
Yeah.
nice. So with that said, it's just like it's already in a sense inspired a lot of people. Yeah, for sure. I've definitely seen that coming too as well with my fake ass NI. It's like OPS could definitely like slowly over time inspire some cool ass art.
Yeah, I think for me, because I have the ST consume, and I can't speak for everyone with ST consume, but for my own consume, I noticed that as if I can connect, even if it's fantasy or whatever, but if the characters feel real, I think that's universal. Most people think that's important.
Yeah.
Like with OPS, you can enhance um, entertainment so much because it will become more realistic, even though we can, create and be very artistic and express it however, but there will still be a core truth, TI, in it. And then it will be more interesting in that way. That's how I see it, like from
You know
what I've
when I
been.
got my type back then for 7 years ago or something, I actually told Dave about this story because at that time it was just all in my head. I wrote notes, I made drawings of things and maps and but nothing really serious, right?
Mm,
But I talked to him about it. Told him.
mm.
And then I also shared that I wanted to use the OPS thing into the stories. And I swear, like he was so I have never seen him that excited. He was like, "Oh my god, that's the best idea I've ever heard in my life." Like that is fucking great. Yes. Because the thing about IPs, apparently, so what he says in the data,
Yeah.
you can see a lot of TI people trying to make movies or
Hmm.
stories, and they fucking suck. For the one reason is the IP do not know how to connect to people. So the characters are so unrealistic. And he was like, "You are
Yeah.
just cheating with that because you're gonna like
Right.
make them
Yeah,
10 times more realistic than they already are
exactly.
because of OPS." And I was kind of like, "Damn, I didn't really think about it like that. I was just like because I feel like OPS gave me an SI map of like actually how to make characters, and I was like, damn, do
Yeah.
I suck that much at like describing people? Holy shit!"
So, I mean, like, yeah, they usually say that for the IP, the tribe is blurry, right? So, do you feel like knowing OPS it makes the tribe less blurry for you, or yeah,
Yeah, actually, yeah, I've noticed that. Yeah, because the tribe have been very blurry, for sure, for sure. But I definitely feel like at first it made it clearer, then it was blurry again, then it became clearer but more scary. I think more intense. Then it
yeah.
became foggy again or blurry, and
Mm.
then it kind of like it's still sometimes blurry, but not as much. Yeah, and less intense and fearful.
Interesting. Yeah. Because I feel sometimes with, for example, I mean, any function we have last. So for me, it's SE. Like that last function is blurry. It's like my my sister basically calls me blind, like I'm not seeing the sensory world. I do see it, but it's very vague to me. It's
Yeah.
almost like I need glasses to see it, and then suddenly if I did put those glasses on, it would become clear. It's like I'm looking out through windows that are really, really dirty, something like that. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
I met some girls who are like that, who are savior intuition. I don't know if it's any or NI, no clue. I just know it's N. And she told like her spatial awareness is just next to non-existence. Like her like, it's like she can sometimes physically see. And I'm like, it's very weird to me sometimes.
yeah, exactly. Like sometimes my sister can even ask me, like, yeah, can you describe like what the person looked like? And sometimes I struggle just to remember, was it a guy or a girl? Was it like black or white person? Like super basic stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I did not register. I remember I even like said that a person was, I don't remember if it was, yeah, anyway, one race and then it was the other one, like another race. And I was like, are you sure? And then she could prove it to me. And I was like, wow, I really missed it. You know.
Yeah, damn. Sure.
Yeah, so I get the struggle, whatever struggle it is, but the last function and the last animal, that's the struggle.
It is. It's so invincible sometimes. I'm not necessarily invincible. Sometimes it's just I feel like it's just the triggering part of it. Like you can see it, and I can see other people also. They can see the demons, but they're still
Mm,
going like, "Nah, I'm not gonna do my demons today. I'm sorry, man. I'm gonna neglect them for 5 years." And they know it. If you really like push them on them, they know it. They know it that this is very bad. It's so funny to watch, but they will still do it. They will still neglect the demons.
as long as they can, or as long as we can.
Yeah,
That's,
yeah.
yeah, usually the case. Okay, I'll see if I have any more questions. Mm, yeah, I remember the interview that Ben had with you. That's quite a long time ago.
Yeah, it is. Holy shit.
But this is OI, we are building here.
It's fine. It's fine.
Um,
Interesting. Yeah, cool.
yeah, he mentioned a thing called alexithymia, like blindness to feelings. He was
Mm,
talking about him having it, but I didn't really understand if you could relate like fully or if it was mostly him feeling that. It didn't seem like it. Like you were describing feelings of frustration and, yeah, just being aware of feelings. But do you sometimes have that, like, can you relate to what he was saying about blindness to feelings or?
yes, but not to that degree. I feel like he probably meant it at the time. I do not remember what the
Yeah,
fuck
yeah.
I was saying back then at all. But I feel like for where I am now, I feel like no, I do a lot of the time actually know what I'm feeling.
Mm-hmm.
But there are times I'm like completely unsure what I'm feeling. But I'm not blind to it necessarily, actually. I'm actually not blind to it. I think the double activation on it and being double masculine, masculine Nefi, makes me not as blind as the feminine Nefi, actually. I actually feel
Yeah.
like I'm not as blind. I think for me, it's more like I'm just triggered by them. I'm just like
Y-
annoyed, offended. Like I get mad and angry about being mad and angry. Am I in love? I'm fucking pissed off and like frustrated, like go away feelings. So I'm very aware of the feelings. I just do not want to have them, if that makes sense. Like I just want to get
Mm,
them away. But I
yeah.
do notice them, I do feel them, and I know where they came from, why I have them, whatever, right? I'm just like running away from them. That's my problem. I'm running away from them, trying to neglect them, trying to not feel them, trying to like, no, 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 no. But I do see them. I am very aware of them. I do have
Yeah.
moments where I do not know what the fuck I'm feeling. It's not that. I just think to the degree that Benjamin have it, I do not feel like I can say yes, I relate because not to that degree.
No. Hmm. Yeah, it's funny with the last function, if it's masculine, because I'm comparing my masculine SE with your masculine FE.
Oh,
Like the
interesting.
rage that it can, so like I
Yeah.
can feel that kind of intense rage too. If there are a lot of like sensory elements around me that like disturbing my flow, my inner flow, like it can
Ah,
be
yeah, Demon SE
things.
makes sense. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, it's like they are invading my peace in a way. Like I remember one time I was kind of cleaning up the house and my sister, she was here and I was like furiously cleaning, like moving things in a very like aggressive manner. And she commented on this after, like, wow, you were so angry. And I was like, oh, I was like,
Yeah, I didn't even notice.
no, because it's really, really annoying when something like in the sensory is disturbing me. It can be strong light or strong sound. It's like I'm hypersensitive or things laying around with no purpose. Like, you know, why are they there? They're just disturbing me. So yeah, I'm aware of it, as you said, with the tribe. Like I see it, but it's annoying, and it's even more annoying that I need to do something about it.
Yes. It's like it's annoying that it's annoying that I can see it. I don't want to see it kind of way.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, makes sense, makes sense. Yeah, holy shit, you just described perfectly like demonacy. If I ever like have struggled of like how to define demonacy, I'm gonna use what you just said. Show that video to someone and be like, this is demonacy. That's interesting actually.
Yeah, well, it's funny because when you have, I'm thinking like my blouse is double feminine, so I'm like I'm very fluffy and soft on the front end, I think to people maybe at first, but then I have this rock like down, deep down, the ST, like it's double masculine, and so it's not that fluffy anymore, in a while, after a while. I'm
Makes
wondering
sense.
with you, it's like TI is feminist, like visual sleep that you have at the top. And then the blast is masculine. Yeah, you're pretty top heavy.
I am at the same time no, but at the same time yes, but at the same time no. Like I'm so weird with that because of the way the math work. I'm actually very
Mm.
fluffy.
Yeah, I
I'm
find you
actually
fluffy, but the TI is feminine, and that's like your strongest function in a way
yes.
because, yeah.
So I am very fluffy actually, but at the same time I'm super masculine. I'm so aggressive. I'm super masculine, and then I'm very fluffy.
Yeah.
And it's like it's so confusing. It's so confusing. I don't know how to describe it. It's just when it comes to like that extreme of being fluffy and being very aggressive, I feel like I'm just
Mm.
in the middle in the way like my masculine and feminine works.
Hmm.
Um, because I do at the start being very fluffy, and then in the middle very masculine, and then at the end very fluffy again.
So funny. Yeah. It's like you're both fluffy on the front end, and then you have the sissy syndrome. I have the Hulk syndrome, right? In the back end. So,
Yeah, yeah. It's like yeah, I don't even know how to describe it. It's so weird. It's so weird.
wow. Yeah. Oh, it's a balance in there in a way because you are going back and forth with the masculine and the feminine.
Yeah, sure, sure. Actually, yeah. I think so. I think so. Like it could be worse. Like I do not enjoy having masculine demon if it's such a bitch. But
Yeah.
at the same time, like it could be way worse. Like it could be way worse. Like there's a lot of things in my math that like is very not good.
Mm-hmm.
But at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, it's actually a very good deck of cards. I have found out. It's just
It's
how you use
yeah.
them. Um, and I actually feel like it's one of the greater ones to have because you kind of like yes you have demons but your demons are also your saviors, so it's kind of like you already like if I never have found it OPS I would be more naturally going through my demons and
Mm-hmm.
my saviors than someone more like natural, if that makes sense, like a more natural INTP would. So I would go through more struggles now, but it will balance out well for them. They will rugged as an INTP, and then tidal wave will hit very hard. So I feel like yeah, I'm sure there was like good things and bad things about everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like my type is both the worst type to be, but it's also the greatest type to be.
Mm-hmm.
Not just because I'm a number one, but it's really great because it's like I can honestly do anything, and it's kind of like I'm aware of anything. I'm aware of my consume, sleep, blast, play. I can do anything because I'm somewhat activated on everything or connected
Mm-hmm.
to everything. But at the same time, I suck at everything. It's great.
Well, we all do that. I mean, we have our strong sides where we, thrive, and then we have the other sides. I mean, in some way, shape, or form, that's
Sure, yeah,
probably,
yeah,
yeah.
for sure, for
But
sure, for sure.
it's a powerful deck of card that you have, and you seem to be using it for a lot. I was thinking more about the book thing. I had one more question there, I think. Um, yeah, because I was wondering, is it like a creative um, expression from your side, or do you want to, you know, uh, let me see what I want to ask. Yeah, like, do you want to influence your readers in any way, or what do you want them to feel, or doesn't it matter to you? Is it just like a creative outlet?
masculine iffy, it is a creative outlet, actually. I would say that it is, a lot. But I also like, I feel like that's the thing about masculine iffy. Maybe also generally speaking iffy. I don't know about that. But masculine iffy loves to like move people's emotion. Like I love to
Mm.
scare people, but at the same time, I also love people to feel good, to make
Mm.
them feel good, right? Or at
Yeah.
peace or happy. So kind of like with the stories, like I want to go through the whole emotional spectrum, like the whole iffy wheel. Like we shall be scared together and shit our pants together, but we shall also laugh and have a good time, and it's gonna be fun,
Mm.
and it's gonna be romantic, and it's gonna be awkward, and it's gonna be everything. I'm trying to like everything good from the sea, if you know what I mean, like everything,
Yeah.
everything.
Oh, so interesting. Yeah, it makes sense that you want to move the tribe like with feelings. That makes perfect sense. I never thought of like masculine F wanting to scare people, but I work with teenagers and I have like every once in a while, every, some years, some terms, we have a couple of students that loves scaring the stuff in different ways, like
Yeah.
so many creative ways. Like they just have to experience the effect of scaring someone, and I'm like, what's this about? Maybe that's the thing.
It might be because like of course, like you have to be careful about it, right? With it, but no, it is, and I don't know what it is, but it's just so fun. And
Yeah.
it just like I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I don't know any if you understand what it is.
Because I don't feel that. I don't want to scare anyone. Like I feel really bad if I scare someone. Like, oh, did I like cause something like a heart attack or anything
Yeah.
bad? Like, but of
No,
course
no,
I'm responsible for the vibe as well. But yeah,
but no, I get it because at the same time, yeah, I don't like it's a demon, so I also don't want to like make people feel bad. But at the same time, I see myself being like, now I don't jump scare people as much, but like through my music and
mm,
through my books, I do, and I can see one. There was a time many years ago I used to make movies, short films, as a creative hobby, and I remember horror movies was one of my favorite thing to do because I love to like see people like emotionally getting scared. But I
mm,
feel like there's a difference between like making a book or a movie
yeah,
where the intention is to scare you, because
mhm,
people who are going in to read that book, see that movie, know that it's scary time. It's time to get jump scared, right?
you're
Well, I
right.
feel like I do not want to as much like hide behind the corner and scare you. I do love to move your emotions, for sure, for sure, but not so much with the scary part. I would say that's more like in the art. I like to, I
Yeah,
like to offend. I like to shock, if you know what I mean. Like it's.
yeah. You're not teasing like animals or anything like that,
What
wanting
do you
to
mean?
see their reaction. Like I have a friend growing up, they had like cats at home, and he always wanted to, I think he has masculine FI. He was so amused by, getting a reaction from the cat somehow.
Oh
Like,
no, I don't want to do that. I felt like that's that maybe that's just my inner side, but in a religious sense, I feel like that's a sinful thing to do. Actually, you
yeah,
shouldn't
yeah, they are very defenseless. Like, yeah, I
yeah,
get you. Yeah, I
yeah,
agree.
like I don't feel like you should mistreat your cat like that. That's very
Mm-mm.
and if you do and they like hit you or something, bite you, like I'm sorry, but that's your own like fault.
Yeah.
You fucking push the cat's emotion into that state.
Absolutely, yeah. And his twin sister was really angry with him constantly. And I think she has masculine FE, by the way. So she was always
Oh,
defending the cats. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it makes sense because I would honestly do the same. I would actually be mad about that because that's again, as I said before, like a movie, a book, that's a different thing because we are
Hmm.
all in agreement that we want to be scared, right?
Yeah.
There's a reason you go to a roller coaster to get that kick to get that emotion, right?
Oh, so it still needs to be FE appropriate.
Yes, that's
Yeah, I
yes.
get it.
Yes. You
Okay.
still have to say yes to it. We all have to agree
Mm.
on it. I don't just do it for that kind of self amusement. I'm a psychopath, but not that kind of psychopath.
No, no, I don't think you are.
No, I'm
That's
not.
so
I'm
funny.
joking.
Yeah, so Andreas, we have a few rapid fire questions. Would you be up for
Yes.
it? Okay. Pizza or tacos?
Oh, that's a hard one. Oh my God, such a FI question. Holy shit. I love some tacos, but it's gonna be pizza.
Oh,
Yes.
do you have a reason or should we move on?
My reason is like I feel like pizza is just I grew up with it and it just I don't know. I no, I don't have a reason.
Okay, it's FI. Cats or dogs? What
Ooh,
side are
dogs.
you on? Ooh, I like
Mm.
that. I have a theory there, but yeah, see if it's holding up.
Ooh,
I
interesting.
okay, I'll go with it. So I think because I remember once I have to go via the tribe. Whenever I say something, I have to kind of validate it through the tribe. So I'm gonna say it anyways, catching myself here. But Lijo, she has a dog,
Mm,
and I think she typed him an IJ, SI lead.
mm,
And I think dogs in general, I think they are more, SINE and also FETI. And I
mm.
think the cats are the gamma quadra. They are like FITE and SENI
It
axis.
makes sense. Like I can see that for me. I don't know, like I do not know what to say if I could find a case for everything, feminine TIA. But I can definitely see what you mean. And generally speaking, like I do feel like dogs can be very FI like, but they're definitely more FE like, actually, to be honest with you.
Hmm.
Where cats are so FI sometimes, it's unbelievable. I can see that for me.
I think my dog is actually, I have typed her, she is probably TISI. I think so. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
But masculine TI, I'm not sure about the SI, but yeah, a no machine for sure. It's a terrier. And she's like very cat-like in a way because the TI, like an IP, and she will do her thing. She isn't like the typical dog, wanting to be with the tribe. And she's also, wonder if she's masculine DE because she's very fair. She's gonna spend like an equal amount of time with everyone in the tribe, but she only go to them not when they are asking her, but when she wants to go there. So it's very
Uh,
IP like.
yeah, yeah. I can see that. I can
But
see
yeah,
that one. That's interesting. I love how you can talk type your dogs and animals and pets and how people have doing it for years now. Like it's unbelievable. It's crazy. I love it. I've definitely also met some animals where I'm like, yo, this dog is just straight up play energy. Like this is crazy
hmm,
consume play energy. Like goddamn.
yeah, play blast like crackheads. There are
Yes.
quite a
I
few
have
of
a
those.
friend, she have a dog, and that dog is just like so OE, like it's unbelievable, like it's so crazy.
It's
Anyways,
so
keep
funny.
going.
Yeah, we could we could go on with this. So would you rather never read a book again or never watch a movie?
Oh shit. Ah, fuck. That's a hard one actually. I think because of modern day age, I can get information through the computer and my mobile.
Hmm.
And in that sense, I can read a book, an audio
Ooh.
book. So I would choose the movie.
Ah, that's cheating, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It
So,
is.
but yeah, I heard that you're a filmmaker as well, so that makes sense.
Yeah,
Hard
no.
not to watch movies, but then as an author, at least you can write them. I mean,
Yeah, as I said before, that was actually very tough. Like harder than the pizza taco thing. Like, whoa, now I'm actually kind of like, ah, shit,
this
I'm
is
fucked
even.
either way.
You are. And if I would add like never listen to a song again or never make a song again.
Never listen to a song again because I have been listening to a lot of music, and I know it's ridiculous when they consume less say I don't need to listen to any more music, but I have
I think
definitely,
you're 100% right. Just want to give you assurance there.
but I've definitely like I have a playlist. I have so many playlists now with like over like 5,000, 10,000 different kind of songs. Like I've listened to so much music over my life. So
Yeah.
I think it's time to like actually produce more music than
Mm.
listening to music.
Yeah, and I feel like it's a very different thing, of course, as a blaster, but it's a very different thing to create something.
Yeah.
I think there is a different kind of enjoyment in consuming, like actually something well prepared and just enjoying it. That's like a different kind of joy. But the way I feel when I create something, it's like I can't really describe it. It's like I'm made to create. I somehow I believe there is art in everyone. So if if we can't create, then what are we? Like it's such an intrinsic part of being human to me.
Yeah,
So
agree,
yeah,
actually.
I would
It's the
choose.
blast in me.
Yeah, two blasters agreeing. Um, yeah, and did I ask you coffee or tea?
Oh, coffee, I think. Even though I should probably drink more tea, but coffee.
Yeah, yeah, coffee is the answer. And lastly, if you had to describe yourself in just one word, what would it be?
In one word,
Hmm.
legendary.
Ooh, what a number one answer.
Yes. Yes. I wanted to say the best, but it's one word, so I'm gonna be even better than that.
Legendary.
Yes.
That's a great, great word. Okay, wow. I have to process that for a bit. That's,
I get
ooh,
that.
it's
Same.
strong. Okay. So I think I mean, there are a million more questions I could ask you, but we've been going on for a bit now. And do you have anything you want to ask or anything you want to share, like other than what we already talked about?
No, I think I'm good. Go watch the double OG INTP channel. I do live
Yes.
interviews. If you want to watch that, it's silly, it's fun, it's not really that serious. But if you want to come do that,
So I'll add the link in the description for that channel. Just a quick question. So the OGGINTP, what does it stand for?
it was
Should I know?
because yeah, it is a joke in a way, and not really. It's because when Dave and Shannon started doing these live shows thing where they invited people on, I came to one of them,
Mm.
and then they were like, they was just keep calling me gangster, and saying I was the original one. And then
Yeah.
because I do listen to a lot of rap music, right? And I
Mm.
think Snoop Dogg or something, he have like I'm the OG, double G, whatever thing going on, right?
Mm.
So I basically just mixed Tupac, Snoop Dogg, West Coast gangster rap music slang with whatever Dave just called me. So basically, it's Dave that gave me that name, and then I
Ooh.
just took it and run with it because I'm like, thank you. Yes, I'm gonna take that name. I'm taking that name,
Yeah.
because he kept calling me gangster, and I was like,
That's
yeah, I'm the OG and I'm the original gangster in this community. So yeah, so it comes
original
from that.
double gangster.
Yes,
Okay, I love that. So I'm definitely gonna check out your channel. And you said you have had it for a month or so, a
that's
little
a
bit over.
month now. It's not that old.
Yeah, yeah, but it's yeah, still. So you already had three live episodes, and what is like the whole main idea, like the OI of the
The
channel?
UI. Have you ever watched Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
Something like that. Like it's as I said before, it's not that serious. It's very we're trying to talk about OPS stuff, of course,
Mm-hmm.
and our self growth journey and what we have learned in OPS and observation with other people and ourselves and whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anything you want to share, or even I want to share. It's not so much an interview, it is an interview of me to like interviewing other people,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also just us having like a regular conversation about OPS. Like, we going to the bar, drinking some coffee or some wine, and then just
Oh.
talking and debating about it instead of it being an
Mm.
interview necessarily. So the whole idea is just something chill where people can come. Sometimes I will bring a beer with me or something.
Mm.
Not necessarily always, but yeah, it's just chill vibe, talking nerdy stuff about OPS
That sounds
with
really
people.
nice. Like, I think people are actually like with, okay, I'm not gonna analyze this too much here, but everything is so fake these days in a way. Like anything that is more natural and just grounded and, happening here and now and not perfected, like, yeah, a little bit rough, like the shaky hand camera thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I think it's something that people actually they do enjoy and they will enjoy yours as well. I hope that.
I feel like they did last time, especially because it was very like just like it was like three scientists. If I have to like put a concept to it, it was
Mm.
like three scientists just talking and debating and just sharing their life, but also just talking about OPS and
Oh,
and
that's so
things.
cool.
So sure, it was an interview. We can call it that because I did ask questions for sure,
Mm.
but
Mm.
at the same time, we were just having a regular conversation about
Yeah.
OPS. And it went really well. And when I watched the live number of people coming in, it kept going from one
Mm-hmm.
to like 10 to
Mm.
two to 10 to one to 10 all the time. And then later on, a lot of people actually wrote that they watched it later. A lot of people came in with some good
Oh.
questions or just some comments. Like I feel like being being at that is still in its young age in the
Mm.
beginner stage, I feel like we had a lot of success with that video, even though it's not like we got a thousands view or anything like that or a thousand likes or something like that. And again, as I said before, it's not the point to be like having a million subscribers or something.
Mm.
It's something people can come and join if they want to, and if not, it's honestly fair. It's very
That's so
chill.
cool. Yeah, I
It's
love
very
that.
not number one like even though I'm trying to sell it like the O double G I N C P, it might look like number one, but it's really like I'm trying to make it, yeah, I guess four DE like.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're kind of doing some self-growth in terms of just hanging out and spending some
Yeah.
quality time. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
And it's not triggering even. So,
Yeah, no, it's fun. It's in my OI. That's why it's not triggering.
yeah, exactly. You are choosing the playground, so then it's
Yes,
fine.
I can
Yeah.
control it.
Yeah. Ooh. I get that. That's the only time I like playing too, when it's like I'm playing about my interests.
Yeah, makes
Uh,
sense.
yeah. Hmm. But I'm looking forward to catching up with that. And yeah, I'm very happy to have talked to you for the first time. We were talking behind the scenes before a little bit, but yeah, actually talking to you live like this.
Yeah, it was nice. Thank you for having me on. It was very nice, very cozy. I love talking about OPS with people, so it's nice.
Yeah. And there are just like a thought because I was thinking of your channel, like there are so many interesting people now in the community that know about OPS, but also have like a lot to contribute with, like in terms of the lives they are living, their interests, whatever they are doing.
True. Yeah.
So we don't always have to talk about OP, but to just have that kind of foundation and something in common that we share, like it helps the conversation. And in a way, we are building on OP knowledge, but we are also learning about other things. Like it's a nice way for me as a consume last to consume about new things, random new things.
Makes sense. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Same.
Yeah.
I,
Okay.
I definitely
Anyways.
learned a lot about like OPS also through the interviews throughout the years, definitely. Sometimes the questions some people ask are very bad. Kendrick.
Mm.
But no, I definitely like you definitely can see the type.
Hmm.
Like fuck the questions. The question does not matter, but just how they react and talk
Yeah.
and the way they move, you can definitely get a lot of like just that I feel like you can't get from the class
Mm.
videos Dave and Shannon makes.
Yeah.
Um, because it's not as natural. Like we actually talking to really human beings here.
Mm.
Yes,
Yeah.
all actors are fake.
Yes, indeed. Oh, and in real life time, like
Yeah.
for example, during this interview, I've seen you moving, back and forth like this double masculine anecdote thing. I'm like, yeah, it's really true, you
It is, it is, it
know.
is.
Yeah.
It's goddamn true, goddamn. But yeah, for sure,
Okay.
for sure.
Okay, so thank you again, Andreas, and welcome back another day, another time.